right, here we go. See if you want to look at yourself up there.
Okay.
Hi, buenas noches. ¿Cómo están todos? Mi nombre es Jose Chavez. My name is Juan Jose Chavez. As you know, this season is a campaign season. Estamos esperando que comience la campaña para la elección en noviembre 5. We're going to be here for November 5th. You know, our campaign is this year is a very important campaign. And as you know, I want to say that I have a special guest, but I'm going to just want to say hi to my co-host Jasmine, who unfortunately was not with us tonight, and we are definitely have a very special guest. As you know, I've been working on having. Last week we had Ryan Mello, who is our Democrat side of the House for the campaign of. Breathe. Anyways, for the campaign of Pierce County Executive. And tonight I have, again, I said I've always liked to be fair, and we have the Republican side, and I have a very special guest. We have Kelly Chambers with us today. Welcome, Kelly, and we'll do introduction. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that we connected and
Yeah.
we hit it off.
We hit it off, yeah. We hit it off. And I'm going to say a little bit in Spanish because even though we're going to probably keep it in English today, people, but I want to have a little bit of people that watch it in Spanish to understand a little bit. Ella está corriendo por la campaña para el ejecutivo de la ciudad de... oh, man, I'm just breathing. I need to breathe. Okay. I need to...
Okay, we're gonna take a drink, take a
breath.
breath.
Yeah, take a breath. Okay, here we
Cheers.
go. Uh-huh.
This is water.
Está corriendo para el ejecutivo del condado de Pierce, pero ella es del lado republicano. Ella es una amiga y ella está aquí para que aprendamos de ella. Como digo, es importante que voten esta vez, y esta es otra opción que tienen. Cuando lleguen su boleto para votar, les van a dar un librito, y en el librito va a estar toda la información, y también va a estar la información de Kelly. So, muchas gracias, y vamos a comenzar, por favor, ¿ok? I'm going to start. I'm going to go ahead and read your introduction. Okay. Voy a introducir a mi amiga. I'm going to introduce my friend. And so this is Kelly Chambers. She currently represents the 25th District in Washington, House of Representatives. She's been a voice for Pierce County families and businesses in Olympia. Now she is the leader, and we need to take the reins in Tacoma, right? During her time as a state representative, Kelly has established herself as an effective, hardworking advocate for Pierce County, as well as vulnerable members of our community. We can expect no less from Kelly as our county executive. Right. Kelly is a successful local business owner who knows what it takes to employ people and turn a profit. With owning Visiting Angels, Kelly knows what it takes to care and have compassion for our community as a business owner. Kelly understands the responsibility of running a business and what it means to be part of our community. Our county executive, Kelly, will make full use of her private sector experience. She will privatize and making it easier to start businesses and promote entrepreneurship and strengths of our economy and keep our community vibrant. Sorry for my spelling. Kelly is deeply thankful for her education and found fantastic teachers who taught her. As our county executive, Kelly will expand and strengthen our education system and career training options so Pierce County residents can continue bettering themselves and find jobs they love. All right.
Yeah.
That's quite the introduction.
I know.
Oh, my gosh. So, hey, you know, I know this sounds very cliches, but, you know, what do you tell me a little bit about your experience about, you know, how did you start with this? The reason why we have her here, I want you to know her as a person, not as a politician right away.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did I start in politics?
How did things begin? You know,
Well, you know, it's weird to find myself here because I never had any aspiration to run for office, and so then you find yourself in this position, like running for such an important office that has, you know, so much consequence for people. I grew up in Tacoma. I was the first one in my family to go to college, and then I started a business 20 years ago. So I've been serving this community for 20 years, and like making my home and my life and my career here. And because I run a business and I care for people and create jobs, I end up getting involved in politics a little bit.
You always kind of seem to do when you're an owner.
I know. I would go down to Olympia and testify on policies that would affect our business or our ability to serve people. And so then previously, when my former state representative decided not to run for re-election, the day she announced that she wasn't running for re-election, she called me and asked me if I would run for the office.
Wow, what an honor.
I said no.
Oh, really?
I said, oh, yeah.
I said, what an honor. You turned it down. Oh,
yeah,
my gosh.
I didn't want to put myself out there. I thought that was kind of a scary thing to do. And it's one of those things, if you ever see in life, like they need a volunteer and like everybody else steps back, and you're like,
looking around.
I guess it's me. It was kind of felt like that.
Way, yeah.
So I, at the time, my husband was in Nepal because we support orphanages there.
Yes.
And there's a 12-hour time difference. And so I was going to bed, and I talked to my husband. I said, this is what's happening. And Melanie Standby asked me to run for this office. And I told her no. So I went to bed. And the next morning I wake up, and my husband, he's on the other side of the earth. He said, I've been thinking about this all day, and you need to run. Because if you run, you will win. So we're just like, okay, we're doing this.
It's a calling.
Okay. I had done a thing with my staff. I believe in visualization and like naming your goals and putting those things to paper. And so everybody in my office, we made dream boards where you cut out pictures and words and put them on a piece of paper, and then put that by your desk. Like, this is your motivation of why we serve people and what your goals are in life. And on my dream board, I had put a picture of a woman at a microphone.
Whoa!
And I was like, I don't know what this means, but maybe I have something to say, or maybe I have a story to tell, and I don't know exactly what that means. But it's so funny, years later, that all those things kind of come to fruition. So I'm here.
Wow.
I'm running for executive.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. I'm a Tacoma girl.
It's amazing. Yeah, well, talking about Tacoma girl, me and you had a little chance to talk, and you told me where you're from. And if you think this is for somebody who comes from somewhere in Pierce County, far away, listen, people. Tell me where you're from. What area are you from in Tacoma?
I'm from East Side, Portland Avenue.
Portland Avenue.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. Tell us a little bit about the history of
gosh,
Portland Avenue.
rough.
What schools did you go to and things like that?
Grew up on Portland Avenue. Bose, Galt, Lincoln.
Wow.
I mean, it doesn't come more
you can't
east side
be
than
more
that.
East side of Tacoma.
And I mean, I lived 2 blocks from Bose growing up, and then I should have gone to McElvey.
Oh, okay.
But I had cousins that went to Galt, so I bussed down to Galt, and Galt was great. And I just, hurts my heart that.
Oh my God! I went the day that I don't even want to talk about it, but yeah.
I know, it's painful.
I took a lot of pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. And Galt to Lincoln, but. No, Galt was great. I was in band, choir, orchestra. I had Mr. Gorm as my band teacher, and he just passed away in the last year. And it was really through my business on the visiting angel side of things. I've had the opportunity to care for a lot of teachers and their spouses over the last 20 years, and so it's been great to care for my teachers and Mr. Gorm. I had the opportunity of caring for his wife.
Oh my gosh!
And so I had been in contact with him. So then when I got, and he was the first person that took. We would take an annual band trip down to Olympia, and play. Our band would play in the rotunda of the Capitol.
Oh my gosh!
So he was the first person that brought me to the state capitol, and so then when I got elected to the legislature. We had lunch with the Washington State Supreme Court justices. Yeah. And I'm telling my story to one of the justices, and she said, I think you need to call your band teacher and tell him that you got elected. Yeah. And so I called Mr. Gorm, the band teacher from Galt, and said, hey, you were the first person that took me to the Capitol. Now I've been elected to state office, and I'm being sworn in tomorrow. And so he messaged me the next day, and he said, I'm watching you online. I'm so proud of you. And it was, I give him a lot of credit.
That's quite the story.
Yeah.
Although you did mention something that you're the first in your family to do what?
First, my family to go to college, start a business, a lot of things.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So college. Oh, okay.
I grew up in a religion that does not allow voting.
Oh my gosh! I didn't know
So
that.
this
What?
is the lot.
Wait a minute. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I know. It's like a 180. So
Okay.
to go from like political participation to be prohibited to
Oh, you went the other side. Yeah.
there
my
was a little
gosh.
thing in me that was like, I kind of like this stuff, and I would sneak to student council meetings and I just wanted to be a part of those things. I mean, I like leadership. I just feel like my prayer had been like, Lord, use me for what you created me for.
Yeah.
You have talents, I have talents, and just like use me what you made me for. And I think it all plays into this.
That first of all, I think I'm really proud that you're the first one in your family because it takes that one person to break that mold. Even though religion is a family belief,
Yep.
you become the leader, and you face quite a bit of adversity.
Right.
Yeah.
Things weren't easy. There was a lot of stuff to overcome. I got pregnant in high school
Oh my gosh.
my sophomore year, so I was very young.
Okay.
And at the time, I did a research project. Only 2% of girls that get pregnant in their teens ever graduate from college. So 2%. So that just says
The odds are against you.
yeah. And how do I? It's one thing to be first in your family to go to college, but first in your family with a baby, you're carrying
tough.
a lot of weight to get all this stuff done. But I was just like, for me, it was like there's no other option. We can only succeed. We can only move forward. And I'm not. I don't want this life of struggling.
Yeah. The other percentages, it doesn't matter
And
in a way.
you go back to the 90s, East Side, Lincoln.
We had this conversation, didn't we? Yeah.
It was like teen pregnancy was like a pandemic, and there were conversations about maybe the schools would have a daycare because there were so many girls getting
I
pregnant.
think my high school did actually.
Yeah. I went to Lincoln. I became a teacher, and my student teaching was at Mount Tacoma, and they both had really high pregnancy rates. And, thankfully what we've seen over the last 30 years is the teen pregnancy rate has come down. And
A lot of good education.
a lot of good
out there.
thing. Smartphones, access to birth control information, everything else I think has been a great thing. But sadly, the success rate of girls that get pregnant in their teens is still very, very low.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No. Oh boy, that's quite an adversity there.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about carrying your teacher's mom. Like, can you tell me about your business? I mean, it sounds like you moved on and you started a business.
Yeah.
And,
Oh gosh.
How did that happen? I mean, how do you go from a pregnant mom or your first college to starting a business?
Well, I had, graduated from college. I became a teacher, and then I went into sales, and so I had some business background. But my mom had become a CNA and a caregiver. My mom really deserved a lot of credit because she's one of the most caring people you could ever meet. And if you were ever sick, if you ever need somebody to care for you, my mom would be the person to do it.
Well, being Latino, my mom.
You know how that works. Yeah. As a kid, my mom would come across little old ladies that needed help, and she would bring them home. Like, we're going to care for this person.
Wow.
Like, okay. My mom worked at an adult family home before they were ever licensed. So way back in the 80s.
Bless her heart. You have to have passion and heart to do that.
It takes a special kind of person.
Yeah.
You just can't be a pulse, and breathing. You have to really care for people. And so so my mom became a CNA, and my mom came to me and said, like, can we buy this business? And so I started my business with my mom. And really, it's like I knew that I had like a skill set of like sales and marketing and managing things that I could make this very successful. But really, all along, running Visiting Angels and caring for people has been my mom and her heart to care for people, and wanting to make sure that our caregivers all kind of emulate that.
Yeah. Oh, good. So then that turned into a business, I'm
It turned into
assuming.
business, 20 years of serving
Wow.
this community and caring for people and, caring for a lot of veterans. And yeah, that's just been my life for 20
Yeah.
years. And that sort of led me to politics
To
and
politics?
addressing policy issues that affect our ability to serve people.
Oh, no, that's beautiful. I mean, to me, it sounds like a good trajectory. The things have to be in the right place and, come from the right background, seeing the diversity and
Yeah,
understanding what people need every day. That to me, as a politician, it probably would be, concerned with the everyday life versus the idealistic of what the world should be like.
Well, yeah, down in the legislature, like when I look at policy, I
Yeah.
always try to say like, okay, like, does this actually work? Can like regular people
Yeah.
use these policies, and how does this affect the average person on the street? And does that work?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could start talking about politics a little bit.
yeah.
I kind of did a little research on you this
Yeah.
afternoon, and I see you're in the Ways Committee, and let me see.
So I'm
Yeah.
I'm the assistant ranking on appropriations.
Appropriations.
So on the House side of the chamber, it's called appropriations. On the Senate side, Ways and Means. But I'm the assistant ranking. So that's the biggest budget of the state. It's the operating budget. So that funds all state services like K-12 education, prisons, law enforcement academies, all that.
Oh, okay. Well, my daughter works for Purdy, so.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Been out there a few
Yeah,
times over
so-
the years. Yeah.
And,
What does your daughter do there?
She's, I think, like a third level administrator.
Okay.
She's working. She's earning. She's young and she's
Yeah.
earning her way. But I'm really proud of her.
Yeah, of course.
Really proud of my daughter
How old
working
is she?
hard. Huh?
How old?
I think she's 27.
Okay.
26,
Yep.
27. And she surprised me because she was supposed to be a pilot. Went to aviation high school, and long story short, she decided to kind of work for the state. And she's doing great.
Good.
But anyways, enough about me.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Well, although I was watching some of your videos about, the law enforcement chasing we just had here not too long ago. And I saw you stand up and talk about this little girl that got,
Immaculate
unfortunately,
Golded,
immaculate. I want to say her name tonight and honor her. It really touched my heart
Yeah.
to hear that. And that was in, having a business in Midland, it really touched my heart.
Yep, yep.
And,
Midland gets overlooked a lot.
yeah.
I was at this big event up in Woodinville and talking to this guy and like, where are you from? And he said, Midland. I'm like, nobody says they're from Midland. But yeah.
So, and anyway, let's talk about you now as the candidate for account executive.
Yep.
And as you know, to me, being account executive is like being the governor of our own kind of local, county.
Yeah.
And what an honor, first of all, if you do that, I must say.
Exactly.
But what are some of your observations about our county now? Where does it stand at? How's it been? What is your opinion, kind of thing, before we can get into what you're going to do about it?
Yeah. Pierce County is nearly 1 million people. We're going to reach that 1 million person population, within the next 4 years, and whoever the next executive is. And Pierce County is bigger than 7 states. So this is significant. But also, like within Washington, Pierce County is different. We have 39 counties, and Pierce County, King County, with their charters, the way they're set up, and the role of the executive is different than the rest of the state. So it's a very significant position, and I would say that Pierce County has been ran. You can tell it's a little bit different than Tacoma, Seattle, King County.
Yeah, there's a lot of incorporated areas too.
Tacoma is the city within the county, as so is Lakewood, Gig Harbor, Puyallup.
Bonnie Lake.
But you have a lot of unincorporated area, and most of the population of Pierce County lives outside of the city of Tacoma. So really coming into the executive position, and when we look at policy, you have to look at both sides of it, like how does this affect the cities and the more dense areas, and then how does this affect unincorporated areas and the people that live in the rest of the county.
Which brings me to when you said there's a lot of more population, like density and things like that. I was just, you're in the House committee too, right? And so I'm assuming that's gonna you're gonna have a lot of experience from that. And so as you know, we're facing a lot of housing issues in Pierce County.
Sure.
And just wondering, like, what do you think? Like, what would be something that you may see as a way forward for King County with as you as a county executive?
Yeah. The big picture is we need more houses.
Exactly.
Statewide, not just Pierce County. But particularly with Pierce County is that you see the cost of housing really outpacing the incomes. And for me, that's scary. If you project that into the future, is like we need to do more to build housing to accommodate the population growth here, and rental housing, but also homes that people can purchase. So I think really policy-wise, as the executive, we need all types of housing
to allow more
not just
housing.
Low-income housing, but middle housing, high-end housing. We need
Expansion.
more. We need more capacity. It has to be built to house people. Otherwise, it's going to really outpace the incomes, and I think that ends up pushing people out of the county because they're going to seek more affordable places to live.
Yeah.
But for me, housing is like the American dream.
Yes, definitely.
It's owning a home is the greatest wealth building opportunity that we have as Americans. It was always my goal. My family went through a lot of tough times, and it was the fact that my parents owned a home that kept us from being homeless, because we couldn't have afforded to move to market rate rental housing with what they owned in the house. And some of the policies that I've seen over the years in the legislature, to me, it seems like we're moving that bottom rung of home ownership higher and higher and making it more difficult for people to become homeowners.
Yeah, the income's not pacing at all with
Right.
with prices now. Yeah.
And if you have to wait, till your 40s or 50s to be able to own a home, you're foregoing all the time that turns into equity.
Yeah, exactly. That your equity is going out the window all those years. So
when you look at you and I are homeowners, great. But when we look at our kids, are they homeowners? Can they get into home ownership?
They can't even get into the prices. They can't even get to rentals right now in some aspects.
I know. And so
there
that's
were some people working 2-3 jobs just to keep the rent.
And so that's where supply really comes into the equation. I had the opportunity to be a judge for the Daffodil Princess selection. Okay,
yes.
And Daffodil is a great tradition here.
Oh, great tradition, and I participated too as a judge as myself at Lincoln High School.
Yep. So as a judge, you have to ask all of the girls, all the candidates, the same question. And I asked every girl, "What is the American dream to you?" So that could be anything, and it was amazing to me that I was at one school. Every girl answered the question the same way.
Wow.
Individually, with not knowing what the other one said. Everyone said, "I want to be a homeowner. I don't want to live in an apartment my whole life."
Exactly.
And so, nothing wrong with apartments. It's an important piece of the housing supply, but those girls, that generation, they want to be homeowners, and I want to ensure that.
I think it's time to, as an older generation, I'm assuming, it's time to do something, because that's our future. We don't want our future people be all
right.
Better for the community.
And I think some of our developers, our housing suppliers, have some reasonable requests about timelines to get permitting done, because they have to bank on how long it's going to take them to front a loan to build before they can close. So they're it's a pie, and everybody has a piece to it, and I think they have an important piece that we need to talk about, so that we can bring that housing online for the next generation, so that they can become homeowners and
being homeowners,
have a piece of the American dream.
Talking
and
about
build
homes.
wealth.
Talking about homes. I mean, you had the reason why we met is a good friend of mine. Took me to one of your rallies of support, and we were talking about what they call short-term rentals. And to me, that was kind of a little bit of a eye-opening, how what some of the things that are going to coming up. And I really like what you said. Is there anything that you may want to talk about short-term rentals? What do you what you're hoping? and
Well,
what you know?
yeah, short-term rentals are, homes that are rented out kind of along the like hotel, Airbnbs, VRBOs, and in different jurisdictions, there's been some regulation to maybe limit them or eliminate them or put regulation on them, but they're kind of an important piece of the economic vitality of the county because you have people that own homes and this may be their only business.
Exactly.
They are a piece of the supply of like hotel type rooms. They pay taxes and generate tax revenue for the economy. They create jobs. So what I've seen is sometimes those short-term rentals, things that are rented for less than 30 days at a time, they can become easily the object of something negative in a neighborhood. They tend to look very nice and have landscaping and all that being taken care of, but there's a couple of issues where if you don't get this right, you could make your neighbors upset with you and then drive that business out of the neighborhood. So issues with parking, garbage, noise. If you're not a good neighbor, then nobody wants you around. So it's very important that those short-term rentals be good neighbors in that respect and those things be managed. But I don't necessarily think that we have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We don't have to eliminate short-term rentals just because you have guests that may not respect the noise ordinance. They need to respect it too, just like the rest of the neighborhood.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to, hear, but I understand you have one too. Where is it at?
Eastern Washington.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Gosh, I love Pierce County. There's something great about going over the mountains, where the clouds part and there's 300 days of blue sky a year.
Definitely. I used to be in Moses Lake for a while.
No, for me, we built a home over in Eastern Washington. It was just a dream come true for me to have a place where I could bring all of my family together. I have 3 brothers. I have 9 nieces and nephews.
Oh my gosh.
And we want everybody under one roof and built a place where we could, come together as a family, but also when we're not there, other families can come and enjoy that place and create their own family memories together.
Yeah. Well, great. That's awesome. I've seen you send me the video today. It was really beautiful.
There's a little, yes, I can run a business and do politics and all that kind of stuff, but like at my core, like I'm a creative person that likes to create things.
Yeah, and decorating too. I'm going to talk for her. It's a beautiful place. So if you have a chance, look it up.
So I had a teacher, 4th grade teacher, who let me decorate the classroom. It's like I could use as much construction paper as I wanted, and I made a underground sea area. I made a daycare for our Cabbage Patch Kids, and just the fact that he let me be creative and do whatever I wanted. That was thank you.
I could tell what kind of student you were by telling me that. So so let me get back a little bit more to the politics side.
We'll go there.
Economics. What kind of economics is the county facing? I know I hear certain budget falls, and I hear some budget betterness, and I hear some. And to be honest with you, a lot of us are going to be voting because we like you, but we also want to know a little bit of the economic of what. What are some of the strengths of our county, and what do you see as we need to do if you come in there?
Yeah. Washington as a whole has had a very strong economy through tougher times. Within the county, most of the county's revenue comes from sales tax and property tax.
Okay.
So one way of looking at property tax is it's more steady, steady Eddie, just kind of grows at a certain pace. But as we've seen home values increase, that has raised the amount of revenue coming back to the county. The other revenue is sales tax revenue, which could be more.
We would like to see them lower as a Washingtonian or Pierce County.
Well, when we saw the pandemic and everybody was shopping from home, boom, spike in sales tax revenue because they were consuming, and there was a lot of federal money pumped into people's homes, and
it was a good time.
And they spent it like it just we're
yeah, I remember that.
We're spending.
But it was tough on business owners.
Yeah,
even though we had some of that, it was the sell.
So same thing for all the counties and cities is they all enjoyed a lot of federal money coming in. One time in money coming in, and so how those jurisdictions chose to spend the money is really going to kind of impact the financial health of where that county is at. Pierce County has been ran for the last 8 years in the black, and that's what's most important to me is the candidate for executive is committed to running a sustainable budget. Because if you're a county and you run a deficit, how do you make that up? It comes across in, either you cut services to county residents,
we don't want to do that.
or you raise taxes, and people are already being crushed under the financial burdens of inflation and the cost of living. So that is tough on people as well. So that's why having a budget that says, okay, we will live within our means is really important. And, Pierce County had, when that one-time money came in, spend one-time money on one-time expenses is a fiscally disciplined way of doing it. If you spend one-time money on something that requires an ongoing expense to operate, well, you have to come up with the revenue to...
You have to maintain that. You have to maintain that,
yeah. I think of it as like, okay, you have a job, you got a raise. What do you do with that raise? Do you put some money in savings? Do you
have a good time?
go on vacation? Subscribe to something that you can't keep paying for? Yeah.
No, I understand. No, it sounds like a big job, and this county is really. But like you said, we're bigger than some states, so you're talking lots of money here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 1 million lives being affected, and just making a vibrant economy that where we create an environment. I want to create an environment in Pierce County and sustain that where businesses want to locate here. Manufacturers want to open plants here and create jobs here.
Yeah. How do you bring jobs into Pierce County? Is there anything that you have looked into as a candidate?
Well, I think so. Some of the things that we've seen happen over the last few years, go back to Seattle when Seattle City Council was going after Amazon. And, we're going to tax you if you create a job here. Our current executive, Bruce Dammer, said if you create a job in Pierce County, we're going to give you a tax credit. Open all the jobs you want here because we know that our people here need jobs. And, people in Pierce County want to have jobs, live in Pierce County and work in Pierce County and not have to go to King County to find
I did that 17 years.
Okay, so yes, the commute.
Yeah, I know the commute.
So let's kind of build it and they will come. Let's build an environment where manufacturers and businesses of all types want to come here and locate, whether they be high-tech jobs or medical jobs or skilled jobs.
And we are lucky enough to have a port that size too. We have a beautiful port.
We have a beautiful port that's a wonderful asset. Really unique in the whole country and the whole world as being one of the top ports in the world. So there's been a project going on with the
Seaport Alliance.
The Seaport Alliance, but the Canyon Road. The county calls it the Canyon Road expansion.
Oh yeah, I thought they had a name for it, but
the Canyon Road project.
Yeah, Canyon Project. Yes.
It's connecting the Port of Tacoma with Frederickson and creating a freight corridor there because the county has invested for the last 20 years in developing that manufacturing space in Frederickson. And how do we get everything that's happening there down to the port in the fastest way? Creating a freight corridor takes semi-trucks off of 167 and I-5.
And 509, yeah.
Shortens their commute time, which is great for the environment and less trucks sitting and idling, and we can get them to the port faster.
Being the Waste Committee, did you have anything to do with that project, by the way?
Well,
with the budgeting, I'm assuming probably.
I before appropriations, I was on Transportation Committee, and those projects are so big that they really rely on some state funding and federal funding, and you have to layer all these sources of revenue or income together to build that project out. So I was on the Transportation Committee when we were designating some funds for this project, but 3 of the 4 phases have been complete in Pierce County, and whoever the next executive is going to need to pick that up and ensure that we get the funding for the last piece. It's a priority to me. It's not a priority to my opponent, but there's a lot of there's always a lot of infrastructure needs, and how we prioritize those is going to mean different things. But the Canyon Road project in particular is so significant to the county because so many jobs, whether you're in Fredericton or you're in the port or you're in trucking or you work for one of these manufacturers, all dependent upon that
On
being
that
completed.
route. Yeah, I remember the traffic on Meridian and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? We, in your intro, we talked about training. You know, you said you want better jobs for in the future. What? Tell me about that. Tell me about, when you mention training, what really comes to mind to you?
Yeah. Well, we have a number of higher ed institutions in Pierce County. We have TCC, Pierce College, UW Tacoma. As a public school, we have private schools, UPS, PLU. Great institutions. And when I used to be the ranking member on higher ed in the legislature.
Oh, wow. You've done it all.
Got a few things that gave me some experience for this, but a lot of those schools all take kids that travel less than 10 or 15 miles to go to school. In Pierce County, not every kid can afford to go away to the traditional 4-year dorm college experience.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't as a single mom. I had a baby.
My kids couldn't right away.
They didn't have no babies in the dorms, so I had to have something here where I could put my daughter in daycare and commute to school every day. So really, I look at the future of higher ed in Tacoma is like taking our students, taking our kids that want economic opportunity, want higher education, getting them into our local institutions, and then they come back and they serve this community. And so we've done some things on the state side to invest in UW Tacoma and their science and technology, new building and infrastructure there to attract kind of those high-end tech jobs and stuff to Pierce County, but also looking at the our need for trained medical professionals. PLU just signed an agreement, a partnership with the WSU Medical School. So I envision students from here that grew up here that want to be doctors and nurses and medical professionals, that they're going to go to local schools. PLU is one of the biggest feeders to the WSU Medical School. And when they're in med school, that they come back here and they do their residency in Pierce County, and then they take jobs here in Pierce County, and then they serve Pierce County.
This might be the time if you want to bring up anything. This is your time.
Okay, we're gonna like riff.
Yeah. Well, we whatever you want to do right now. So go ahead. Is there anything you wanted to talk about that you feel like it needs to be said tonight?
We talked a little bit earlier about just like civics and what is the office, but what is people's like responsibility to vote and participate.
Yes, exactly. And talk about voting. Yeah.
For me it was kind of a calling, something that I couldn't stay away from. But
welcome to my world.
It's just like what brought you into caring so much about politics?
You know what it was I needed to recreate myself somehow because I was in the corporate world for many years. And we were talking about your mother. Well, being Hispanic, and we were in Kent, when we started, we were not in the best area either in Kent. We were by the tracks. And there would be a lot of people that would come from other areas. And of course, not everybody came up in a bus or a plane. There was people who needed a lot of help. And sometimes they came in a train, or sometimes they came in a bus, and they were lost, or they were migrants. And it was just really strange that my mother would take people in sometimes to help. And that really made a big impression on me. And even though we came really good to America, there was times when we did get in trouble, and we had like things like United Way come and help us.
Yeah.
And I saw that in a real world as a little kid. I got blessed to work for United Way a little bit, and I got to return that turkey at Thanksgiving time. Yeah. And it's a beautiful feeling when you do something back for your community. I'm going to say it. I fell in love at Tacoma. Tacoma brought me here. I did not want to be kicking and screaming at Tacoma, but here I am. But most important is the people. It's a big city, but it feels like a small. We know
it's
everybody.
It's like the biggest it's the biggest small town.
It's the biggest small town
Yeah.
to me. Tacoma is it's the biggest small town, and we're growing in population. It's changing a little bit. We get a little satellite here, but and it's coming up, and I'm proud of Tacoma coming up. But I just would love to stay in the like 90s, late 90s, early 20s kind of time of Tacoma because it was coming up. But long story short, what brought me really into is that I wanted to make a change.
Yeah.
And I see myself doing for politics. But, my personal life, like I said, people go through ups and downs. But I'm not out either. Bottom line, maybe I'll do something in the future. But as you know, you got to love the people. You got to love the process. You got to love the helping more. Like I said, you got to come from the helping angle. I don't like when politicians come in and use it for their own personal gain. Or to me, politics should not be about gaining yourself. It's about helping as many people as you can, and that's a calling from God too.
Sure.
So
yeah. Well, thank you for what you've done for Tacoma and your part in saving Jubilee and
saving the brand. Kind of, we almost lost the brand there.
Well, that's like 3 blocks from Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know. I ate there recently, but I don't even know if you still have a pineapple shake.
Yes, we have we got the best shakes. We use a lot of natural fruits, and I can't really talk about it too much because it's my personal business. I can't push it on the air. But all I'm going to say is, yes, we did save it because even though the last person was wonderful owning it, he didn't see it as a hamburger place, and he was trying to change it.
Yeah.
And growing up in the McKinley area, we used to go there quite a bit too,
with
my kids. And it's just the way things happen. I happen to be on the East Side community committees area, and I saw that Brian was going to go, and I thought, you know what?
Got to
step in there.
Yeah.
And
well, that was one of those places. I mean, my mom had her little, kind of number of hamburger joints that she liked to eat at, and it was just like the B&I.
Yeah, the B&I.
A&W.
A&W, yeah.
Or Jubilee.
Yeah, okay.
And Jubilee had the Smitty burger.
The Smitty burger. We kept it on the menu. We
Yes.
changed the way the business how it works. So
Yeah.
we had to change the food because they wouldn't survive. We
Yeah,
would have been
right.
the third earners in a few years. But we changed that and it kept it, and it's really good.
It's wonderful. It's great.
Wonderful.
Well,
Great, yeah.
my middle brother, his nickname is Smitty.
Oh, wow.
So
You got to bring them. I'll take a picture.
We're a
of
fan
them,
of the Smitty burger.
Yeah,
and,
so
and
yeah.
Jubilee and all that.
So yeah, no, I worked a little hard on creating and helping maintain that brand. I'm proud of that part.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
proud
terrific.
of that. But bottom line is, this is about you.
Okay,
As much
okay,
as I like to
sorry.
talk about myself.
No, we're supposed to go back and
yeah,
forth.
welcome back and forth. Okay, we got a little bit of short time here, so why don't we start? I hate to say this, wrapping it up a little bit. But
Okay.
Is there anything other than you were talking about that because I was thinking that maybe we can close it with just telling us a little bit about. My most important thing is the voting part you were bringing, and in a way, as you know, there's also a national, and I don't want to bring it up here because we're not talking about national tonight, but there's a lot of back and forth with the national. I mean, and I want to make sure it gets heard. You don't care about that right now, right? Right now you're talking about working and.
Most people that are kind of consuming media or whatever, they're hearing those like national level issues, and I've just never really kind of engaged in that because I've been very focused on representing my district and the local issues, and I think the same thing needs to happen here in Pierce County. We can't pull all those national things and necessarily apply them here because what we need in Pierce County is we have public safety issues to deal with.
Yeah.
The Washington is really not in the best position when it comes to where we are with auto thefts and property crimes and violent crimes. Washington was just ranked the 8th most dangerous state to live.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign.
So how do we look at that locally? What is what's going to happen? I'm happy to have the endorsement of our sheriff, our past sheriff, Paul Pastor, but the sheriff's deputies and the Tacoma Police Guild. When your car is stolen, who are you going to call?
Yeah.
And I realize that there are some communities that don't necessarily have the best relationships with law enforcement. But at the end of the day, we need them. We need to work together and find that common ground where they can help protect and serve the community and keep us safe. I just had my car stolen
Wow.
Yeah, a month ago. And somebody calls our office because it's my business car. And that the car was stolen down by Stadium High School, and they're trying to run people off the road
With your business on
with
the
my
side.
with my business on it.
Oh my gosh.
Terrible. The car was recovered, and less than 30 minutes later, before we could get to it, it was restolen.
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's like this stuff. This shouldn't be happening.
happening.
You know, and so really looking at the future of the county and addressing public safety, we have to, deal with those issues like, violent crime and property theft and cars being stolen. So I'm happy to work on that. And I just really appreciate the support of our law enforcement community that trusts me to be that person to work on this issue. And I'm happy to work with our next sheriff and our prosecutor to make sure that we're, striking that right balance of protecting the community and giving, holding people accountable, but also, keeping the victims in mind as well and ensuring that they get justice as well.
No, I've seen, like I said, the crime go up a little bit here in Tacoma.
Well,
but I'm used to, even though I did, was in Tacoma at certain times. So, it kind of goes in waves, and it's kind of up a little.
1994 was the record murder rate in Tacoma. That was the year I graduated from high school.
Okay.
And to watch that come down over the years, like that's a good thing. And to see it spike back up is really sad.
It is, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. I just wanted people to know that if you're watching my show tonight, that we keep talking about voting because it's very important to me. We were talking about how easy it is for us to vote in our state. Our state gives you a chance to do it by mail. Not even a stick, not even a stamp.
No.
You got specific boxes. You don't have to put it in the mail. You got specific boxes. It's coming up, and if you're not registered, please get yourself registered because, again, this is going to be a good time to make sure that you vote if you don't vote because we are facing many changes coming up, and you want to be heard because once things change, there's no going back, people.
Right. It's harder to get it back.
It's got to be back, but. I just really want to thank you.
Of course.
I am so glad. I'm glad how organic this happened. It wasn't all the, I'm glad. I feel like I met a friend.
Yes.
Met a friend.
Same.
And I just want to wish you luck in your race, and I'll be watching. And actually, maybe, I don't know if you know already, but if let's say there's a victory, where you're going to celebrate kind of thing, Oh, you don't know yet.
Well, there's a couple of events going on that night, so I will be at a few different things, but you got my number, and
all right.
we can
we'll
celebrate.
I don't know if you want to announce it, but, but anyways.
Well, we're going to be at the Tacoma Golf and Country Club to start, and then there is a bigger thing up in Bellevue. I guess that's where all the media is going to be, so...
Okay. I think my friend here, my producer Chris, is trying to see if I can find, let me see.
Real quick, can I announce something?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about earlier the Marcos Wanless and the Seattle-Tacoma Latino Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, yes.
One thing that I know that they are supportive of is the initiatives that are on the ballot to repeal the hidden gas tax and to protect people's access to natural gas. So I have an event coming up on Sunday at the Shell station on River Road in Puyallup from 12 to 2.
That one over there by...
It's like River Road and I want to say like 9th. By the Toyota dealership.
Yeah, by Toyota.
People can come fill their gas tanks up for $2.99 a gallon.
Wow.
So
this, remind me, is for...
to talk about the initiative to repeal the hidden gas tax.
Hidden gas tax, okay.
Yep. We're promoting that by letting people fill up for the national average instead of the Washington State price.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That bill that was passed added about 50 cents a gallon to the cost of gas. And that affects people. That affects my employees that are trying to get to work and people that are trying to run their businesses. So we did one last week, and there were several like landscapers and food trucks that came in. They were filling their tanks up because you haven't seen $2.99 gas in Washington in a while. So you can get that Sunday on River Road from 12 to 2.
Okay. Amigo, I'm not finding the comments, so everybody who made a comment, give me 1 second, but let me keep it rolling for a minute, and then we'll go from there. And bottom line is, I'm very happy that you're here.
Thank you.
And as
I
you
appreciate
can tell,
the invitation.
I could tell, we're not CNN or Como TV.
No.
But
Almost.
Almost. We're there.
Almost CNN.
But and for everybody who made a comment, I apologize. I'm having a little bit of an issue I can't see your comments, but I would like to thank everybody who's making a comment, and thank you for being and participating tonight. And welcome. And I
Great
wish you the best
conversation.
luck.
Thank you.
And this is your home. If you ever want to help the community or Spirit Out of Work community, we're here for you.
Can't wait.
And you can come back after the win too. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, my door is always open. I look forward to working with you more.
Thank you.
Thank you.